Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Advice Media webinar. My name is Rachel Lemieux, the Demand Generation Manager at Advice Media. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. It's always a pleasure to welcome everyone to our webinar series. Chad Erickson, our VP of Strategy, will be presenting on how to maximize your website for maximum client conversions. Before I introduce Chad, I'll explain how our webinar format will work. First, the webinar is being recorded. This will allow you to watch it again at a future date, share it with others, or watch it later if you weren't able to attend live. Second, we invite you to ask questions on the control panel. I'll save the questions until the end of the presentation, but feel free to ask them at any time along the way in the Q&A section. Let me now introduce Chad. Since 1999, Chad has consulted thousands of clients on the best marketing strategies for their business. With a focus on both the internal and external aspects of effective marketing, he plays an instrumental role in the growth of Advice Media and the development of our comprehensive, best-in-class digital marketing platform. In addition to being an industry leader in digital marketing, Chad understands the complex aspects of owning and running a business. He has a proven record of raising capital and acquiring companies and developing strategic alliances within the industry. He has founded several marketing companies and is one of the owners at Advice Media. Chad is a trusted senior executive and a respected community leader. He's also a faculty member for many of the top medical and dental conferences. Now, over to Chad.
Rachel, thank you very much. It's great to be here with everyone today. Before I started my presentation, I want to just talk for maybe just a minute and to anybody who might be dealing with the effects of COVID in their life right now, either the stress of it or affected directly. We certainly know that it has impacted business. I think back in early this year, we really felt like it was going to be V-shaped, right? We're going to come down, kind of bounce back up. And there were so many unknowns. And the reality is we kind of came down and we've bounced along. And the good news is that it feels like there's a lot of hope right around the corner. Vaccines being announced. We're seeing good signs with the economy right now. And so anyway, just want to talk to everybody out there, let you know that we're thinking about you. We know that you are small business owners like we are, and there's a lot of stress that is with this. So anyway, empathize with you, and I believe that my message today carries a lot of hope. And I think the things that we're going to talk about are critical to your success, particularly as we go into 2021, right? It's going to be a fresh year, a fresh start, new opportunities. There's a lot of reason to have hope and to be excited about what's coming. But as I start today, I want to talk about, of course, how to really maximize your website internet presence to make sure that you are attracting the right clients and that you are maximizing your conversions with everything that you're doing. Now, why does this matter? Well, when you think about what's happening online with search today, I want you to pay attention to this number right here. There we go. 1 in 20 searches online today on Google is related to healthcare. So you think about that in your own life. People care about their smile, their skin, their weight, their general appearance, their hair, whatever. And they're searching online. The question you have to ask yourself is, am I being found? Am I being found for the right search terms that are going to help propel my business to make sure that I'm in the right spot to succeed? So today I'm going to talk about how to maximize that and how to really help you get into that right position and how Advice Media has helped our clients for over the past 20 years to do that. I'm going to start by sharing a little story. And I think this story is very relatable, and it's a personal story, but I think it'll help you understand the principles we're talking about today and why they matter. A few years ago, our family had the opportunity to go to Cooperstown, New York for a baseball tournament. Cooperstown is the home of baseball. It is absolutely the Mecca. My son, who's now a sophomore in high school, had an opportunity to go play in this major tournament. And his team did phenomenally well. He plays close to 100 baseball games a year. He absolutely loves baseball. He's actually a 3-sport athlete at the high school, but loves baseball. And he had to earn a lot of money to go to Cooperstown. We took the entire family out, had a fun trip in New York and city, and then upstate New York as well. But you think about the countless hours that my son Crew and his team had put in to this, for this tournament, and really preparation for it. And we got to the first game. Crew plays center field and pitches, and in this game he was out in center field, and we were up on this team and that we were playing. Well, they had a runner on first, and batter comes up and he hits this great shot right between the first and second baseman. Second baseman almost had it, almost made a great play, and the ball gets through. Well, the center fielder's job is to run over and cut anything off that might squeeze through. Well, Crew didn't run over. He thought the second baseman was going to get there. He made kind of an assumption. Well, the ball squeezes all the way through and now rolls all the way to the fence. So he's chasing this ball down and gets it thrown in, and his coach is going crazy, right? Because now there's a runner on third and second as opposed to first and second, or maybe even a chance to get an out. And so the coach is yelling at him, and you can tell Crew is just a little bit dejected. He's feeling the pressure, knowing that he didn't do what he was supposed to, and he's a little tense. He knows that, hey, we got to lead, but we can't let up our intents and our focus here. Well, the next batter comes up and hits a good deep fly ball shot right to center field. Crew knows that he's got to make the catch and get the throw in to home, because the guy on third is going to tag up and go in. And I've seen Crew make this play dozens of times. He's got a really, really strong arm. And anyway, he comes up on the ball. He's got his glove there, takes his eye off for a second, and he drops the ball. So it doesn't make the catch. So, of course, the runner scores. That guy's safe. As opposed to having potentially 2 outs on the play, no outs in 2 plays. And now we've got a runner that scored, another runner on third base, and one on first. Anyway, the coach didn't say anything about that play. Crew's ticked at himself, enough so nothing had to be said. They went on to win the game. But the most important part happened right after. It was a great teaching moment. I happened to be within earshot, and I watched the coach in a very perfect, what I'd call perfect setting, pulled Crew aside in a one-on-one, and he said, "Crew, why was I upset at you for that first play?" Crew's like, "Well, I didn't move over. I wasn't where I was supposed to be." He's right. "That's right. You were not in the right position to succeed. You didn't move over and even give yourself an opportunity to succeed." He said, "The next play was an error. Errors happen. I saw what was happening, Crew." He said, "I saw you coming up. You were right there." He said, "I've seen you literally throw so many guys out at home, but that's okay. You were a little tense from the other one." He said, "I just need you, Crew, the rest of this tournament to be in the right position. And if you'll be in the right position to succeed, great things are going to happen." So with Advice Media, and one of the roles that I believe we play is we are here to help you understand what it takes to be in the right position, why it matters, and how to do it. So I'm going to share with you what we have created. We call it the pyramid of success. And this is really an outline of the elements that are most critical to help you succeed online today. Understanding, of course, that Google makes literally thousands of changes to their algorithm, their expectations, what's happening in search, what trends are happening. So taking all that into consideration, in today's world, this is the pyramid of success. The first element for this is your website. You need to have a great website, a website that is going to convert patients. When they come in, they're going to feel confident. It has to look modern. It has to meet all the standards that Google has put out there from a development standpoint. It needs to have the right call to actions. And when you do that, that is the foundation. And you might say, "Hey, that's all I need. I'm a referral confirmation business. I get all my business from word of mouth. And of course, we have products just for that." And you might say, "Awesome, I need a great website and I need to build upon that." A few years ago, everybody thought that the next step after a website was SEO, right? Search engine optimization. And if I were to ask you what you think it is, and you said that, I would say, you're wrong. And now, what is it today? Well, what it comes down to is local search, or what we call local power. And what's happened is there are lots of directory websites out there, and you need to have a unified message across all of these, with your name, your address, and your phone number showing up in a very, very concise format. Google looks at this as a major indicator on how it will help your rankings. It also influences your Google My Business page and your maps. So the incorrect information actually becomes very, very detrimental to the end user if you don't have it. Now, once that's in place, the next most important thing, and I could ask you this, and you might say, well, if I've got that, then the next thing's SEO, right? And I would say, no, not today. Now, the next most important thing is your reputation management. We call it our review power, a tool that we use. Reputation management has become critical. Now, if you go back 4 or 5 years ago, most reviews weren't trusted, right? But today, over 90% of reviews are trusted online. People look at those and they want to see that, and it will influence their decision making. It also has a direct impact on the way that you appear online. So it absolutely is part of your overall influence with Google. Now, are we to SEO? I guess that's the question, because everybody's like, well, I've heard about SEO. I've been doing it. So what's the most important thing? And if I was to spend my money on it, where would it go? It's your social media presence. In today's world, this is the next most important thing. This is the foundation. And if you got to this point and you had a good social media presence and you were posting consistently and sending out those critical signals to Google about what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you matter, and you're adding that content, that is great. Now, in our world, we call this our power suite. This is critical. And if you only had these pieces right here, these 4 elements, you would have a solid internet presence that would help you succeed. Now, once these elements are in place, you might say, Chad, I really, really want to grow my online business. I'll spend the money. I know it's going to take time. And that's when we would introduce search engine optimization, but only if the other foundational elements were there. And then after that, if you wanted to do even more, we'd say go with your paid search, your Google AdWords, your Facebook ads, but your search engine marketing component can be there. Well, let's talk about the first one, right? Let's talk about websites and website and what it really means for you as that foundational element. As I mentioned, it is the foundation. So what does it do? Well, your website, it has to attract new clients. It has to convert those new clients. It absolutely has to create confidence with anybody that comes to your website. In today's world, it has to look modern. People will make a judgment about you with what they see. It also has to be mobile friendly. I didn't say mobile responsive because mobile responsive is really a given today. But what we find is that even with mobile responsive websites, people pull them up, but the user experience is terrible. Can you find what you're looking for? If they pull it up, can they find your phone number? Does it load properly? Are images cut off? So it's not just about being responsive. It's about giving people the content in the way that they want to use it. The website, though, at the end of the day, it's a marketing tool. And marketing tools are there to help you close more business. It really is, and to make you money. And that's done through 2 elements. It's the patient generation first, which is everything that's out there that's driving traffic to your website. And again, that's those foundational elements I talked about. It's the local power, the review power, the social power, and the search engine optimization and pay-per-click. All of those elements on the digital marketing scale and those products are intended to drive more and more customers, clients, patients to your practice. So it's the patient generation. Second is the patient conversion element. So that once they have been or arrived at your website, what happens next? Do you have the right content that's going to motivate them? Does it look great? Are they seeing the content that they want to see that's going to lead to a phone call, to a text, to a chat, to an email? Anything that's going to bring them into your office to where you have an opportunity to close them and it makes you money, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the patient generation component here and how that functions in today's world. So we talked briefly about local search, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this so you understand how important it is and why it's used. So you think about these elements. 9 out of 10 people in today's world are performing a local search. And over half, almost 60% of people are searching for a local business every single day. And the vast majority of them are using Google Maps. So it is absolutely critical to have this information. There was a survey done by Moz, who's a leader in data for online marketing. They did a survey a couple of years ago. And in that, they asked marketing companies like Advice Media and others, how important is this local marketing for the success of your clients? Looking at all of your data, everything you do, why does this matter? And the results were really, really interesting. 45% of SEO experts came back and said that citations, again, cleaning up these name, address, and phone number elements, play a very important role in local search engine optimization. But check this out. 55% of those surveyed came back and said it plays a critical role in local SEO. That means that 100% of those surveyed said it either plays a very important or critical role to the success of their clients. That is huge, 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 huge when you think about that, okay? So, massive stuff there that we want to think about. Now, moving on to our next element in our pyramid of success. Let's talk about reviews and review power and why this matters. 84% of people today will trust an online review as much as a personal recommendation. Think about your own habits of searching online. We're coming up on Black Friday next week and Cyber Monday. And if I could show a raise of hands right now, I could ask you how many of you are going to shop on Amazon? And I would say that it's got to be at least 99 to 100% are going to do it. And part of that is you are going to look at online reviews in making a determination on what product you're going to choose. That does not change for you and your business. You need to pay attention to your reputation. Understand this, over 1/3 of patients and new clients today have cited that one of their first steps is looking at online reviews. 21% of them said getting a recommendation from a trusted person is huge for them as well. And 75% of patients want to see at least 7 ratings before they'll trust them. So just having 1 or 2 reviews out there isn't sufficient. They want to see a lot so they understand a trend. And with review power, part of what we do and what we offer is review generation and management within our software platform. We have direct syncs with Google and Facebook and others. And our platform makes it so simple for individuals to acquire those new reviews via text or email. There's also a 24/7 software monitoring that happens to let you know when reviews happen. And then we also help provide, and this is probably one of the easiest things, is to manage the review responses right from the client performance center. So you don't have to do all these other things that are out there. We've made it super simple with our review power tool. All right, so continuing on with patient generation. The next piece that we talked about is social media. And our social power tool does that. Now, this is interesting because most businesses don't use social media correctly. What they don't understand is that Facebook is actually suppressing the number of people who see your content. They have put it down as low as 5%. That means that if you had 100 followers and you post something online on Facebook or Instagram, that content is going to be shown to 5 people or less. And if those 5 people don't interact with your content in a short period of time, usually 1 to 2 hours, Facebook says the content that you posted is boring. So that means that nobody else sees it and it dies on the vine. So when we see practices that are constantly pushing specials or reviews or prices and they're not getting any engagement, that's a problem, because what it's saying is Nobody really cares. They haven't engaged with anybody to where anybody feels a connection. There's nothing of value that's there for them to want to continue. I'll give you a little illustration on how this interaction in today's world works. People will interact with people, but not a business. Here is Progressive Insurance, major national company. They have 343,000 followers on their insurance company, people that have liked them, okay? Now, if I were to ask you, tell me who the main face of Progressive Insurance is, everybody knows who it is. It's Flo, right? Want to guess how many people and followers Flo has? Flo, mind you, a fictional character created by Progressive Insurance, has nearly 5.5 million followers. This is brilliant, but this can, really emphasizes what I was talking about, that people will interact with people as opposed to a business. They want to interact with you. They want to understand who you are on a very real level. And so you have to create that through your social media. And when that's done properly, can become a really, really critical piece of what you're doing. It builds confidence. It helps Google understand that you are a real player. And by doing so, it actually is a major signal to them, and actually is part of your search engine optimization that's there, because they see that you are active, that you're accurate, that you're a live business, that you care about your business. And when you do that, the signal is, we're going to promote you more. Now, what we have done, because we find a lot of our businesses say, boy, Chad, I don't have the time. I don't really have the know-how. I have a million other things to worry about. How can you help me? And this is what we have done for our clients. We will post for you 4 times a week on Facebook, 3 times a week on Instagram. You have the opportunity to approve the post in advance. It gives you consistent messaging. And of course, we get asked all the time, well, what if I want to add to it? We want you to do that. We want you to augment our efforts with what we're doing and add even more of your personalization to it. And you should do that. And it's so easy to make that happen. So it's phenomenal. All right. So we've talked through our pyramid, right? We've gone through the website. We've talked about local search and why that matters. And we have a tool that corrects that, because you have to maintain that over time. Reputation management with review power, our social power. So let's now talk about SEO. Again, many of you are looking at this saying, hey, I really want to go into this. I want a successful 2021. I really feel like in my own business, I'm right at the wave and people are ready to really open their wallets again and start spending. How do I get in front of the right people and do it the right way? Well, we can help you with that. I love this, that the best place to hide a dead body is on page 2 of Google. And it's true. People really don't go beyond page 1. And so you have to make sure that you are doing the right things to succeed. So what are those right things? Well, let me share with you the Google algorithm ranking factors for today and what really matters. This is interesting. When you look at that top right quadrant, 25% of what happens is related to high quality content. And I'm going to talk about what that means and why that's important and how you can really alter that. 21% is still related to what we would call SEO 101. We're talking about meta tags, title tags, URL structure. Having all of that done properly is still a critical element of what happens today, making sure that you're not trying to game the system. Next is backlinks. And we get asked all the time, well, Chad, I thought backlinks were bad and Google did away with those. And what happened is that Google punished sites who were trying to manipulate it through unrelated links. But creating good quality, solid links is still a very, very important aspect of what drives that. Internal links is linking within your website, which is important. And then having a mobile-friendly website, then your visitor time on site. Then you get to site speed. This is interesting because we'll see some of our competitors and other groups out there that are constantly saying, site speed matters, it's the most important thing. Well, it's really not. So if we're being intellectually honest, does it matter and should we look at it? Absolutely. But let's make sure that we're honest about it and understanding it's a small piece of this, but also understanding that Google over the past year or so has actually intentionally throttled their reports back to show slower speeds using the slowest servers and technology that would be related to like an iPhone 4 on a 3G connection. So that what they're trying to do is say, if somebody were to come in with the slowest technology and use this, what would happen? So when you understand what site speed really means, that's there. And I just point that out because we do get that question a lot, which is surprising. When you can obviously see here that there's a lot more important things to focus on. Let me share another very important data point with you that emphasizes why search engine optimization is really important for helping you succeed online today. If you can move up just one spot in search, what you are doing is you are actually increasing the click-through rate of what you're trying to promote by nearly 31%. That's massive and will absolutely increase your business. So if we take a step back, right? Let's go back here real quick. Understand that 25% is about the content, 21% is the way that content is set up. So we're looking at almost half of what's most important. Let's talk about how we do that. Google, listen, they're not trying to hide anything. They're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. You might think that, hey, they're the bully, they're the bad guy, and there may be some truth to that, right? That they're a little bit of the mafia, the way they control what's happening online, and we certainly know that they are pushing organic links down, and they want to see more and more paid links. That's how they make money. But how can you still be competitive? Because it's important to understand that it's not just about what might be a short tail or short-term search, like cataract surgery in Salt Lake City, right? Or breast augmentation, New York City, or personal injury attorney in Tampa. Those would be very short tail key terms, but there's a lot of other terms and things that people are searching online. How do we find that information out, and why does it matter? Well, I'm going to give you some information right now that may be the most important thing to help you understand how to format your website with the right content that is going to help you succeed. And it's built upon what Google called their favorite website. A couple of years ago, the former head of Google Search, a gentleman by the name of Matt Cutts, was giving a presentation to a huge audience. Everybody would come because they wanted to hear what Matt Cutts had to say because he was the expert. And if he spoke and he said something, you did it. And still true today with Google. But Matt Cutts was at the seminar and he asked the audience, who do you think is Google's favorite website? And he said, I'm going to give you a hint. It's not Google, it's not a shopping site, and it's not a social media site. So it immediately took Google, Amazon, and Facebook out of the mix. Now, if you have answered and said Wikipedia, you're correct. Wikipedia, well, why does that matter? Well, let's take a step back and analyze who is Wikipedia and what are they doing that would make them Google's favorite website. This is a website that is built on great, unique content. Content that is constantly evolving. Content that is answering individuals' questions online. So the goal and understanding that is for your business to become literally the Wikipedia for all of the services and products you offer in your local market. If you are a dentist in Austin, Texas, you need to become the expert on everything related to all of your dental procedures, and you need to have that content online to answer those questions. So think about it this way. When a client or a patient comes into your practice and they start to ask you lots of questions and you're now answering those, have you ever thought to yourself that before they came in to your practice, they've already asked that question on Google? Yeah, they have, right? They've pulled out their phone literally and they're Google, what about this? Who this? How much does this cost? How long does this last? What do I need to think about here? And they're asking those questions over and over again. When you answer those questions on your website, you're telling Google, Google, I'm the expert. I'm right here. Show my website. So how do you do this? Well, you listen to your clients. You can also go and look at Google Trend data, and you pull that information together, and you then take each one of your service pages. I'll just use an example. Let's say that it's it's cataract surgery, right? So you need to be able to say, what are the risks of cataract surgery? How long does it last? How much does it cost? All the questions, there's probably 8 to 10 main questions you get asked every single day if you're an ophthalmologist, right? So what you do is you create that outline, and now you answer those questions as though you're speaking to one of your new clients or patients. And if you want to make it easy, just speak it into your phone. Your phone, everybody's phones now has the ability to record and transcribe that content. Super simple. Now you're going to have to make some adjustments, but you're saving yourself a lot of time. I know for a fact you're not going to sit down at your laptop and start typing things out. But if you'll do what I explained and create that great content and start working on it over time, you're going to have some amazing content that's going to make you the Wikipedia for all local things and really set you up to be the expert. That is how you are going to increase your position online and how you are going to get more business. So critical today. And again, if you were to stop right there in this presentation and take that information and start working on that piece, you would be wildly successful. Now, let's talk about patient conversion and why this matters. Because one of the other things I hear is people are like, I build a website, it's out there, and I've got patients coming in, I'm doing just fine, right? What you don't know is how many patients or clients you are missing because your website sucks, okay? I'm gonna be blunt, I'm gonna call it like it is. Your website does nothing to motivate anybody. In a lot of cases, it really can start to look old and outdated. So why does this matter? In a recent survey, 48% of people cited that a website's design as the #1 determining credibility of a business. It's not your credentials as a doctor or an attorney that matters. It's their perception of you that matters. Let that sink in for just a minute. How is the perception and how are you perceived on your website? 38% of visitors will leave a website if they find that the content and layout are unattractive. So again, if you're going to put all this time and money and effort to drive these new leads and prospects into the top of your funnel, think about it as a sales funnel, right? And they're going to work their way down. You got them to the top piece of that funnel, and they came in and they immediately leave because they think you're not credible because your website looks old or outdated or doesn't speak to them. You've lost them. They're out of that pipeline. They've gone somewhere else. You might say, well, I'm busy. You might be. I'm not doubting that. Are you busy with the right type of patients and clients you want, or are you busy? There's a really solid distinction that you need to make and analyze, are we seeing the types of patients and clients that we want to see to grow our business? 6 in 10 people will read through something that's beautifully designed rather than something that's boring. Huge numbers. A couple of years ago, I was at a conference, and you've all been there, the large trade show halls, right? Everyone's walking down, and our job as vendors is to basically have people, pull them in and give them a reason to try to engage with us. And I was at a medical conference and started talking to a doctor coming in the aisleway, and we had a good discussion, and he was telling me a lot about his practice, and he said, you know what, Chad, he said, did a little bit. He said, I'm the best injector in my town. I get the best results, with my fillers, with my Botox. He said, I know that from a volume perspective and talking to my reps, I do more than anybody else. I'm correcting issues from others in the area as well. He said, and so I'm really, really proud of really being known as the best in town. I said, awesome. I said, so where are you hurting? Where's your blind spots? And he said, well, honestly, if I'm telling you the truth, he said, I've got openings on my schedule that I'd like to fill. I know I could be busier. And I know that if I can get more of those types of clients in, it's going to lead to them coming back for additional procedures, not just their filler updates, but other things we offer. And so he had a good understanding of a lifetime value, right, of a patient, and especially on his med spa side, understanding that a lifetime value of a patient on that side is nearly $40,000. So not bad. We went through and I asked him what he's doing on his marketing, and he told me, and He was doing some good things. I said, well, doc, I said, let's take a look at your website. And we pulled up his website. And within a few seconds, I looked back at him and I said, well, I know what your big problem is. And he said, what? I said, Doc, you just got done telling me that you're the best, that you get the best results. You do more than anybody else. You fix people's problems. I said, I've been on your website for less than 5 seconds. And your website just told me that you're mediocre. To say the least, he was back on his heels, right? He didn't like hearing that, and I'm sure that he's never had a vendor speak to him like that before. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it just says you're mediocre. Why would I go to you? I said, and I had to kind of break the tension just a little bit. I said, do you use rusty needles? And he got what I was saying at that point, kind of broke that tension. And he's like, I get it. He's like, it doesn't look modern. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't look like you've kept up on your training. It doesn't look like you're using the latest technology, that you use the best, of anything. It doesn't reflect who you are. And he said, you're right. Now we got the sell, but that's a side point. I want to help illustrate this for you a little bit, and we're going to do a little experiment. Now, I would love to do this in person. I normally do. I usually have an audience when we're doing this, but we can do this in this way as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flash 6 websites up on the screen in just a minute. And when you see these, I want you to say out loud, I know it's going to seem odd, no one's around, don't worry, just say which website would you go to based on what you see, okay? Here we go. Ready? Where would you go based on what you see? Yep, number 5. It's always number 5. Why? Well, because number 1 sucks. Number 1, when you look at this, nobody wants to see the needle getting injected in there. And it looks old and outdated. What do they want? They want the end result, right? Number 2, their leading image was that of product. Now, product might be part of your practice, but it wasn't for these guys. It was like a very tertiary type item. But why would you lead with that? You might sell it, and again, important, but not that important, right? Also, their phone number was missing right at the top. So you want people to call you, but you don't put your phone number there. Big mistake. Number 3, let's be honest, it's a hot mess. It really is. The colors are old. It looks like, he had his, 5th grader do it a long time ago. Same thing with the needle going in. And listen, you can see the picture of his laser right there. I know you're proud of your laser. I know you spent a lot of money on that. The patient doesn't care. The patient wants the end result. Now, do they want you to use the best technology? Of course they do. But you don't need to lead with that. You want to lead with what it's going to do for them. You need to be thinking about your website and what you offer in terms of the benefit for your client. Not that you're so proud of this expensive machine sitting in the corner of one of your rooms, right? Treatment rooms. Number 4, same thing, hot mess. It's boxy. It's got content over things you can't read it. It's got like the weird outlines on the lettering. It's ugly. And if you're in the aesthetic world, why would I go to you? I'm not. Number 6, I pulled it up. That is the entire website. It was missing the image. It was broken. There was nothing left to see. I don't know really what they do. I don't know why I should go to them. Interestingly enough, these websites all appear on page 1 of Google. So it doesn't necessarily impact the result in the various areas where they're located, okay? On the other hand, beautiful website that really connects with people emotionally and gives them now a reason to want to see more and do more. I'll share with you just a few other examples of some websites we've done. This is Dr. Shashin Shridarani, and his website really showcases who he is and where he's located. When you think about New York City, it's all about the element of high end, right? People look at are you on the Upper East Side? And what does that look like? And who are you? And when we talked to him about building out his website, it was about getting high-end photography. And he was going to hire just some Joe Schmo off the street. And we said, no, go get a fashion photographer. He said, I got a friend that's one. And got these great images for the site. Um, Dr. Salt's, this is their spa site, but they, beautiful image of the outside. You're immediately like, wow, that looks pretty. And as you kind of scroll down the site, you can see the colors, you see who it is, you see that it's warm and inviting. You see the staff all decked out and looking happy, which is awesome. This site is a dermatologist, Dr. Adams, and I love part of what she's included here. Not only is it just beautiful and a great image that immediately attracts you and gives you a reason to read more, but they've incorporated a lot of their own personality with it. And they've done that through images from their office. But one of their coolest pieces is actually right here. It's Monty. Monty is the dog. Monty comes to the office every single day, and the patients love Monty. He just adds a calming effect within the office. And they've put that and made it part of their own personality. And so people relate to this, right? And there's Monty again. And it's just fun. Again, beautiful, great imagery, and the content is solid. And so now people are motivated to do that. This was a Medi-Spa Euphoria that we worked with. And we worked with them and they said, hey, we've got this idea for a video introduction to give people an idea of what their journey would be like as they come in. And this is amazing, right? Walking in and you can see how beautiful it is. Immediately you are captivated to see this information. You're like, I want that. How do I go relax? I'd love to have 4 hands massaging my back. But again, it's that overall feel. How are you emotionally connecting with somebody that's going to make a difference in their life? All right. So we have talked about the pyramid of success. We've talked about starting with your great website as a foundation, adding your local search pieces on that and cleaning up your citations online. We've talked about the importance of your reputation management. We've talked about social media. We've talked about search engine optimization. In today's presentation, I'm not going to talk about paid search. If you'd like to learn more, let's make sure that all those other elements there are there, from the Power Suite items with local power, review power, social power, and your website are there, that you have SEO. And when those elements are in place, then and only then will we really talk about paid search. Because if you don't have that solid foundation built up, nothing else matters, because everything else is going to be substandard. So what we've done today is really, and what I've wanted to explain to you is help you understand, going back to my story earlier about crew, right? How to be in the right position to succeed. Again, we find over and over again that a lot of our clients just aren't there, or those that we start talking to who we start to work with, they've been down the wrong path, or they've been frustrated. They don't know how to be in the right position. That's what we do. We help you get there. Now, when that happens, and we get you there, here's what's awesome. This is that same tournament that we were at. This is crew. A couple days later, up to bat, bases loaded, right? This is amazing. Again, confident, in the right position, and the ball flies off the bat, and you hit a grand slam. So why Advice Media? When you partner with Advice Media, we will help you to be in the right position to succeed. We're going to hold your hand through this. Knowing all the marketing things is not your expertise, it's ours. We are your guide. We are going to help you do that. And we do that through really a technology-driven platform. We are all about creating a return on investment for you. So with our consolidated platform and helping you manage your online presence through our pyramid that we talked about, having that great website, building upon it with the local SEO, reputation, social media, and then your SEO. When we focus on that and we understand how to help your small business succeed, it's amazing. And we do it through products that have been engineered in today's world to make it simple for you to work with and easy for us to work with you. We have put together, in addition to that, with our websites, what I think is one of the most revolutionary things in the space today. It's our Signature and Catalyst websites. Our Signature website was designed and created so that you are never out of date. Our clients receive a new website every 2 years. Why does that matter? Because in today's world, technology is changing so rapidly that it's critical that you keep up with that and make that happen. So we have our Signature website, and we've bundled that together with any of our platform items, right? That we talked about, local power, review power, social power. You can bundle all of them. You can pick just one, whatever the needs are for you, whatever your budget's going to allow. But we do want you to start with the basic pieces first and build upon that so we can help you succeed. Now, if you're on here today and you're saying, hey, Chad, this is all amazing, maybe it's too much for me, well, we can talk to you about our Catalyst website, which is really for practices that are receiving most of their business from other companies that are out there, meaning, right, it's the soccer mom on the side of the field talking to their friends and saying, hey, this is the doctor I've gone to, or they're on social media sharing, hey, this is my provider here, this is the attorney I went to. If that's your style, we still have a platform for you. We have a great website, and all of our Power Suite products will still work for you. We have some amazing things for you. We have some great offers this month. So if you're an existing client and you want to learn more about how any of these products that you don't currently have will impact your business directly, let us know. Talk to your customer success rep. If you're on here and you're not a client of ours, I invite you to talk to one of our reps today. We're here to help you. We want to be your guide. We want to help make sure that you are in the right position to succeed so that you are hitting grand slams. I thank you for taking time to be here with us today. Rachel, thank you. Do we have any questions from our audience that I can answer?
We have one question. My practice has a number of reviews. Do I always need to respond? I don't want to highlight the negative reviews.
That is a really important question. And the answer is yes. And respond to those negative reviews. Listen, they're going to happen. Everybody's going to get them. If you know who it is, I'll tell you this. If you know who it is, the first thing to do is call them. I would say take your ego out of the equation, right? A lot of times you're like, that didn't really happen, or I don't see it. Their perception is their perception, right? So take your ego out. If you know who it is, again, call them. See what you can do to make it right. Perhaps there was just a misunderstanding. I had a client a couple of years ago, Rachel, and whoever asked that question, who had all these 5-star reviews forever, right? And all of a sudden they got a bad review and called me in a panic. Chad, I got this bad review. It's like a 1-star. What do I do? I said, thank goodness you finally got a bad review. We're starting to look a little bit fake. And he kind of laughed. And I said, tell me about it. What did they say? And they said, well, they came in and they had to wait, like 20 minutes before they got to see me. It was a little bit frustrating. And they were in a hurry. I said, yeah, that could be frustrating, right? I said, why don't you go on that and say, thank you for letting us know that you did not have a great experience with this. It's important, and we're always striving to become better. This is great feedback. We are making some changes internally to make sure this doesn't happen again. It was out of the ordinary, and we hope you give us a second chance and come back as we are always working to make things better. So even with that negative review, you can take it and say, we acknowledge it, and we're looking to move forward. And I think that's one of the things people look for in the future, right? They want to see, did you own it? Are you trying to make things better? And that's an important aspect, that you are paying attention to your business. So yes, respond to that negative review, just like you would the positive ones, and look at it as an opportunity to grow. But again, listen to them. There might be something in your business that needs to be addressed, and just take care of it. Good question. Any other questions?
One more. Can you give a few quick tips on some good options to help?
Rachel, cut out there. A few tips on what? I'm sorry.
To help with increasing website engagement.
Yes. So increasing website engagement. Again, everything I talked about is actually part of that. So the first thing you want to do is really own that local power piece we talked about, getting those citations there, because it's going to impact your map listings. It was actually a client we've had for years, and he was just on that basic plan of website management forever. And we finally convinced him to upgrade his website, which had been outdated because we haven't always had our bundle system that replaced every 2 years. We said, look, you need to be on local power today. And he said, okay. And we put it into place 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, all of his local listings, citations, were 100% wrong. Within 1 month of cleaning those up, getting his Google My Business items fixed, and correcting a lot of duplicate Google My Business things that were out there, he received 18 new leads by fixing that. Okay, so it starts with that. That's great engagement. Reputation management is also critical because people keep coming back and engaging with the practice. Social media creates that engagement. So again, having a consistent plan around that is so critical. The search engine optimization is another piece. Part of that is absolutely through content, but I'm going to talk about a couple things with content that are going to increase engagement. It's not just the written words. So think about video, right? Think about maybe podcasts. Think about images. Think about PDF downloads. Think about white papers. All that information is important. It's all part of content today. Video is a critical piece of creating that engagement. YouTube channel is another part of that. People will watch your videos. So engagement, again, falls into all of those. And as you create more of that engagement, you're going to get more time on your site, which is going to lead to higher conversions. Any other questions, Rachel?
Is this excellent presentation being recorded? It definitely is.
It is. And it will be, it'll be on our YouTube page and on our website tomorrow. It will also be emailed out to everyone who registered for the event. So you're going to receive a copy of it. Anything else before we're done today, Rachel?
That is it.
Awesome. Again, I thank everyone for being here and staying with us until the end. My email's on there. And again, if you'd like more information and to speak to one of our success reps to help you, we certainly welcome that. No pressure, of course, but we do want to work with you, and we know that we can help your business grow. Talk to you soon. Wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. We wish you all the best at this time, and we hope that you feel a change that's happening right now, and really this momentum that's building towards 2021. Now's a great time to put things into place so that you can ride this new wave that's coming. So we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.